The NHL 25 gameplay deep dive dropped earlier today, and while I had early access to the gameplay deep dive, I did not have any access to the blog post that came out a little bit later. So in this video, I'm going to go through that blog post and all the gameplay changes coming to NHL 25. Now, if you're interested in the blog post, I will put a link to it down below in the description, as well as a link to my NHL 25 gameplay deep dive trailer breakdown, where I go through everything you may have missed in the NHL 25 gameplay deep dive. One thing I missed was this: the shot speed being displayed on the boards after a big shot. That's definitely new. Now, what I'm going to be talking about here today is this blog post that was posted on the NHL 25 website. There's a lot of new information that can be found here regarding stuff that wasn't already in the gameplay deep dive. However, there's also stuff that they did touch on, like ICE-Q, which is next-gen vision control, empowered AI, and reactive actions. Pretty much everything you see here, and I'll highlight pretty much everything you see right here, is stuff that they said in the trailer, right? So we're not going to go through that again. Like I said, I've already gone through all of that stuff. I'm not going to regurgitate that info to you, but if you are interested in checking it out, the link will be down below in the description. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is the changes to human and AI goaltending. It looks like goalies have gotten a lot of changes here, so let's get started. General improvements to preemptive save decisions and animations. Improved poke check and puck cover responsiveness and situation solving. Improvements to save motion coming onto the goalposts. Goalies actually staying on the posts as opposed to just bumping off. I've seen that a lot in 24. Goalies stay on their feet longer and won't drop or stay in the butterfly if they have time to get back up. That's a big one for me. I always see goalies dropping way too early and then you can snipe them short side. There's been tweaks to the save and capability models, including improved readiness for controlled and redirected saves and rebalanced goalie precision. There's improved decision making for positioning on one-timers, in-tight shots, and challenge distances. Assuming the challenge distances is going to be when you're screened and shots are coming from far out, like at the point. There's also 5 new actions that have been added, including AI goalies will now use the spread V animation. User goalies can saucer pass. Goalies can cover the puck off of teammates' sticks to better protect their own goals. Maybe now they won't just go ahead and bat the puck into their own net. Post-goal emotional reactions. I actually did show that off in the gameplay deep dive. I thought it was pretty cool. And pad stack and desperation side poses are now merged. Now, whether it's the AI or you're a user goalie, there had to be changes to the goaltending. Goalies are probably the biggest problem in the NHL video game series. Way too many mistakes, way too many easy goals, way too many own goals, and hopefully the changes that we see here are going to help change that. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about the changes to hitting here in NHL 25. And personally, hitting in NHL 24 was my favorite change that they've made in a very long time. I absolutely loved it, so I'm curious to see what they have in store. Only a few points to go over, but they could be big. Improvements to hit alignment to ensure more consistent outcomes. There's no reason for you to hit somebody 3 times the same way and have 3 different reactions to the hit. One time they stumble, one time they get absolutely blown up, and one time they just shake it off. So hopefully that fixes it. New shoulder check animations from backskating. Improvements to shove and hit conflicts with shooting controls. In NHL 24, when you're trying to shoot in front of the net and you get an interference penalty instead, that's what this is hopefully fixing. I am so sick of hearing about it. Please, just be fixed. Get up time is scaled based on player fatigue and the level of hits taken. The more you hit somebody, the longer it'll take for them to get up. That makes sense. Fatigue drain varies based on the size of the hit delivered. The bigger the hit, the larger the stamina loss. I already thought this was a thing, so cool. AI players will now use the hip check, and player sizes factor more into hit outcomes. I have shown multiple times this year, Quinn Hughes absolutely trucking Zdeno Chara. That shouldn't be a thing. Hopefully in 25, it's not. All in all, it sounds like they're just trying to make hitting a little bit more consistent. I know a lot of people didn't like the hitting, but once I figured out how to do it, it became my favorite thing in the game. And I'm talking using the skill stick. I didn't really play Total Control too much, so I'm not sure about the hitting using the buttons. But using the stick to light somebody up was my favorite change to the game this year. I really do think that they need to add some sort of tutorial in-game so people learn how to hit and how to defend themselves from a hit. But once I figured it out, I absolutely loved it. Now, something a lot of people who play Total Control are going to be very excited to hear about is reverse hitting with R3 on Total Control has been completely removed, according to one of the community managers. This is something I've seen people complain about legitimately every day playing this game. Every day! So I'm excited to not have to hear about this anymore, and I'm glad that they're fixing it for the people who did have this issue playing on Total Control. I can also confirm that hybrid controls will be returning in NHL 25, so if you're somebody who likes to shoot, or pass, or hit using the face buttons, that's a controller scheme for you. However, it doesn't look like we'll be getting NHL 94 controls back, though I will admit I don't really see the point in having both. I can also confirm that returning in NHL 25 are X Factors and the pressure system, and we do have a bit of an update on the pressure system right now. A team that activates pressure will receive a 20% increase to their on-ice player stamina meters. They are buffing the offensive side of the pressure system. I don't know how I feel about this one. I know it's a very controversial thing though. Like, there are people who genuinely like it, and there's people who think, hey, it's just not implemented properly, but there's things that they could do to tweak it. I don't think this is what they were talking about when tweaking it. Personally, I think it needs to be harder to activate. If it's going to be in the game, like, it can't just be like throw the puck on net 3 times and now you have pressure, you know what I mean? And also, I think something that they should do if they're going to keep it in the game is make it so that way when you get a whistle, like the goalie covers the puck, it goes away. If you get a line change, a completely new line out there, I don't know why you would still have pressure. Another thing I can talk about here right now, all of the Inzone strategies, including behind the net, overload, and crash the net, have been rebuilt from the ground up to allow skaters to better utilize open space and position themselves to be bigger offensive threats. So, if you like going behind the net and executing jam plays, select behind the net. If you like possession, passing, and cycling through the zone, use overload. And if you want to get pucks on net and go for some greasy scrambles, crash the net is for you. I'm excited to see how these all feel using different strategies. I always use overload every single year. I don't use crash the net or behind the net. So maybe this is the year I try something different. But it's nice to see these things get a refresh because it's been a very long time since any of these have been touched. Now that's all the news regarding gameplay I have for you right now, but if I catch wind of anything else in the future, I'll have a video right here on the channel for you. I appreciate you watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more NHL 25 news and gameplay in the future. The next deep dive for NHL 25 should be presentation, and we're hoping it comes next week. Then franchise mode will come after that, and then we have some weird thing with Jack, Luke, and Quinn Hughes. And then lastly, we have the Hockey Ultimate Team deep dive in late September, probably right around the launch of Early Access on September 27th. Deep dive, maybe the 26th, 25th, 24th, somewhere around there. It says late September. Either way, I appreciate you guys watching. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow right here on the channel with another video.